Good morning and welcome back to Nathan's Garage. Can you tell? It's bed day. I'm so excited. Intimidated and procrastinating to a point because after this, we've got the wiring filleting and then everything comes back off to kind of finish weld and all that kind of stuff. On that front, with this getting mobile and a bit more complete, I have a question. What would you guys like to see next as a project? I think I have one in mind that is going to be a flip to bring in funds which are needed. But I'd like to know what you guys want next. I'm just intrigued. See what you think would be good. Well, look at me about to feel all sorry for myself, thinking, how am I going to get a decent line from a circle and get it the same? Now, Wife-tastic got me that for Christmas. It's like $30 or something. Really cheap for what it is. So, look at that. You can basically draw a line. I'm going to obviously line it up better, but I can draw a line on that laser and then I can get myself a straight measurement off the back of the hole. And then get a cut just before this cross member so it can sit down. Damn, lovely. Excellent, clear line at the back of the hole. When people say, how was this truck built? I can say, with lasers. This truck is going to look insane. Looks like the wheels are good in the wheel arches, like that. Okay, so mounting the bed. Not quite, the door over there is on the bobble, so back has to come down slightly, that's fine. Mounting it. Now, this is the extra cross member out of the long bed. That pretty much goes right on top of the Crown Vic mount there, which I like. Now, I think the bed floor is going to get raised. So I wouldn't mind strengthening that lip there, and then the same on this side down here. Then, I like the idea of the whole, this was reclaimed from the desert anyway. I like using the Mutt's gantry to build it. So I'm just picking out all the steel that I have that's the same size and thickness. We've got the rear frame of the Vic right there. We've got the bits we've just cut off. Now, bit silly of me, but I'm gonna show you what I think is gonna happen to the rear of the frame. So this is the flipped cross member. That's fine. These are going to get strengthened, like we've talked about. I think it's a gardener. I don't think it's a giant kangaroo trying to break out of my next door neighbour, but who knows? What I think I'm going to do is going to put a bar across here, obviously, because we can mount here, and we're going to mount there eventually. But this is what I'm going to go off first to get the level of the bed at the back. And to do that, if I say I'd made a mistake and did it wrong, put those back on, but that's going to make this too high. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I think I'm going to pie cut it. I'm going to bolt a cross member to the bottom of here, probably one of the thick ones because a tow hitch may be handy on this truck, and then get it to come to the edge of the frame and then pie cut this to the right height so it joins, and then we're using as much of the old stuff as we can. So I think that's going to be the rear of the frame. And then once we've strengthened this with some of this box section down here, I think, still want to bolt a cross member. I don't want to weld it. I don't think. It would be solid though, wouldn't it? This is going to take some pondering. I'm not going to do anything today on this. It's definitely going to take some pondering. I'm going to look on the internet and see what people have done, see if I can gain some inspiration. But I think I've got a game plan. I think I have a game plan in place. It'd be nice if we could get these bed sides sandblasted. But no, that's not going to happen. Okay. Okay. It's looking good. Oh my God, it's looking good. Never did that piece of metal, after being outside for 3 years and being the other half of that piece of metal, think it was going to reach the highest station for a piece of metal, which is to be part of a hot rod build. So that is going to be there because, as I said before, maybe doing vertical cuts straight up, and I'd say straight to there, and taking this wheel arch probably vertically straight up. Don't know, we'll see. Maybe taking that out will make a difference. We'll have to see. Have to hit a few driveways and stuff like that. I got that laser off Amazon that I told you about. Wife-tastic bought it for Christmas for me, and I got a tripod with it. I never thought that in this reality of my filming tripod definitely being worse for wear and leaning at about a 20-degree angle, and I'm having to wedge feet underneath it, I thought, I wonder if my phone mount will fit on this one. Look at that, it's even got a fancy little arm. Damn, this channel's reaching a whole new level right now. Okay, all these little side cross members are in. This is taking a surprising amount of time. I am kind of reclaiming all the steel, so I'm literally having to grind every single millimeter of them to, you know, take all the rust out of them. But it is what it is. That is the budget we're working with. This is going to be the rear cross member, and goddamn, that's an ugly piece of metal. An ugly piece of gantry, should I say. So yes, we're going to do a rear cross member now. Would have been easier. Okay, yeah, so I think it would have taken about a third as long if the steel had been clean, but we've got to do what we've got to do. So cleaned up that piece of metal, which was terribly, terribly ugly before, but is now absolutely gorgeous. And it's going to be the rear cross member, and I can double it up, whatever, it's not that thick. The metal's thick, but the diameter of the box section is not that big. So we shall see what happens moving forward when we get the bed at the correct height, and then we extend these chassis legs out and see what's gonna happen. Yeah, so that should happen tomorrow. So I would think we should get some hard mounts in tomorrow. Bed-wise, I said yesterday that I was gonna slot those so they'd sit down level with those like strengthening sidebars, but obviously this is going to have a fairly decent hump in the bed, so I'm thinking to myself, why am I not just going to put them on top? It'll save me time, and the hump will be blah blah blah. The hump will be less, and I'm not really losing anything raising the bed by what, 2 inches, 3 inches. I think that's what I'll do. And these are the plates, so they sit over where the Crown Vic body mounts are. So I'll flatten those down and then do, I don't know, gonna figure out that front. I just don't know what to do, but definitely gonna need to do that one. I just remembered something as well. Another reason why I want the bed slightly higher is because if I bring the exhaust up here and I want it to go out the side lightning style, it needs to come up and over. And at any rate, if I do them both out the side, I've seen a few people take them over the frame, which is way nicer because this, you know. Okay, that was noisy. Yeah, taking them down under the frame there, it's just so low. Don't think I want to do that. I think I want to go over the frame. That's very creative for me, exhaust wise. I don't usually get that creative, but who knows? Right, we're in place. That is over the Crown Vic mount. So I'm going to come up with a screw from the bottom, same as the body mount on the Vic. And I want this tight, I want this bed tight. Now if those bolts start causing a problem, which they might, I'll put button heads on those. But I want it tight, and then I can, you know, really assess it when we get it outside and stand back and see what the rear wheel opening is giving us. Seriously, as soon as I press record, I think Burbank Airport knows and they'll let a plane go. Okay, so that's done, and I found no reason to not weld a rear cross member to the existing mounts. There is a hole. Now, I can't remember how that hole works because it's so close I couldn't get a bolt in. So I figured, why not weld it in, and then I've got a decent constant that is wider than the chassis legs that I'm going to be building back. Okay, so I've checked everything, everything's level, everything's on the bubble. Now, that is level on the bubble, and it's coming in probably, what, inch high. So, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna pie cut that I cut out before, and then that will make its way probably to about there. And then I need to figure some boltable solution to my opportunity. There's definitely a lot of curvy lines going on here. Okay, so bubble's good. Is it good? Maybe take another piece of metal to shim it. We'll do that. Yeah, lots of curvy lines, so a lot of eyeball going on. Yeah, let's burn it. Right, end of Saturday. So we got those cross members burnt in and one chassis leg pie cut, and that is now running level. Turn the machine right up and hung around, burned it in well. So that is all good. As I say, we've got a lot of organic shapes and see there's a lot of eyeballing. Of course I forgot a bit. Always forget a bit. So that gives you an idea of, oh, that's in as well, that cross member obviously. That gives an idea of how we are going to work this. I don't know what the answer is yet, but we're getting closer, you know, we're closing the distance. The closer we get, we have to make a decision about how to join it together. So we shall see how that happens. One thing, tack it and then measure it to make sure it didn't move when you welded it, like this bugger did by 1/4 inch up. It wasn't 1/4 inch, it was under 1/4 inch, but okay, I guess I'll weld it again now. I am hearing that you guys want to see more kind of like action stuff, and I'm in the process of making that happen, but right now it's kind of a mixture of the two, mainly just what I've done. So 2 chassis legs are in and they're both in the same place, which is always a help, you know. I'm gonna leave that now because I don't exactly know where this bar is going to end up, and we're gonna mount the bed with these 2 cross members and then worry about the ends once these 2 are in and happy with placement, blah blah blah. So right now I want to cut 4 pieces of sheet out of that shelf thing that Miata Rob gave me, that are going to cover that hole, 4 of those, and then I'm going to weld a captive nut onto the back and then have a stanchion. I'll show you what I mean. This is the idea for the mounts. Okay, that piece is going to get welded over that hole. Then from the bottom, where do they go? A Crown Vic body bolt, if we can make it work. If not, I'll just go and get a shorter version of that. Is going to go from underneath as it did on the Vic, and then that is going to be like that, and then that is going to get welded around and then welded to the bottom of that. So the detachable part is going to be these two pieces, if that makes sense. Now I just realized I've got to make another two. So right now we've run out of this metal. So we've got this stuff. It's thicker, so I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Okay, 4 bed mounts are partially ready. Those are the two with the thicker metal, and they'll go, I don't know, as long as they stay together, then the length of the stanchion is the same. Right, so we've got to get the bed in the right place now, or at least try. Now, I think the bed is slightly high, and we are slightly high in the back on the bubble, so we need to knock all the axle stands down a step and then start shimming, and then we can get some close measurements. Well, I thought that was going to take longer. We're really close. Oh, how surprising, a plane. Now that rude interruption has passed. So they're on the top setting, and I just took those down, I think 1 click. And it's better on this side because the door's on, so there's a bit more of a body line, but we're getting there. And then on the bed, came on. Okay, moment of truth. That'll be a no. Okay, 3rd time. Measure once, cut 3 times. Like a glove. One thing I've just discovered, and obviously the cab took a full day of noodling, and this is, I suppose, half the vehicle. So on axle stands, you have play and they'll rock, and you're fighting for mils when you're doing your final alignment type of thing. Now I want the bed tight up against the cab, and I'll change the hardware out so that it won't cause any interference with like flathead stuff. And I'm just moving stuff around, trying to twist it and move it from side to side, and it's just going within the play of the actual axle stand itself. So I just put a ratchet strap pulling the bed forward, and it just gives it a more substantial base, if you will, of a static point, so that, if you want to knock the front side to side a little bit, you can do, and it stays there, as opposed to rocks back, because it's just free form on the axle stands. It's on the axle stands, but it's been really held in place with this. There's not a huge amount of tension, but it just holds it forward so that you've not got so much movement and rocking on the actual stands itself. So I think that seems to be working pretty good. So I've just figured out why this side is about 2 mil back, which has been annoying me. And there's a kink right about here on the inside that I missed. It's right there, and it's touching the cab. And the bolt heads are further away than those bolt heads over there. Unfortunately, it's this side of the truck, and I have to get underneath there with those here. It's gonna be fun. think the bed's like twisted this way. It's not going any closer than that. Okay, measure again. So it's simple on this one. Basically go underneath, made sure that the hole was centered in that hole, and that when I did that, it was still under and in a mountable position on this thing, which it is. Biases it slightly that way, but I'm cool with that. And then traced it, so now burn it in, and same on the other side. With the use of that a lot, because that right there is a fuel filter. Fun times. So I'm definitely started to disappear up my own arse with bed adjustment here. So if you can see that body line there, it's a scooch low. Now, I took it off the axle stands at the front. Well, it fell off the axle stands at the front and is now actually resting on the mounts. Now I like it being low because I want to be able to shim it up. I want that adjustability. Same here. If you can see on this side, there's no door. It's really close, but you can see the hip there is slightly low. So I think we're going to burn it in here and then cut out some shims so we can really adjust the front height. It's still within the bubble here. Not done the rear mounts yet. It's still on the axle stands at the rear mount and it's still being pulled forward. Got really tight gaps here. I want it tight at the front. Really want it tight at the front. The bolt heads are touching right now, which is fine. Because I can get some flathead stuff and any kind of like folds in metal, I can get that away. And then if it touches, I will just keep making the chassis stiffer until it doesn't touch, because I don't want no flex. Yeah. That line it's pretty good. I won't say it's perfect, but it's pretty good. God, seriously. This is what I do. I knock something and then have to start again. Like these side pieces, you know, they're not straight. And I'm trying to figure out, you know, the evenness really of them. And that looks further in. But then, is there more of a bow on this panel? Jesus. So measurement wise, you can see that hole there, and this again, it's semi eyeball. I put a triangle and went to the center of that mount hole, and it's a worn mount, so that may have moved slightly. But you got that one there, and then I feel like that one is about 2 mil right, but the bed could be twisted. Do my head in. I think we should get her out. Now, because I was definitely going a bit stir crazy and I just want to get it out, there's just so much crap on the floor and the lack of space is just kind of doing my head in right now. What I did was I tacked the base with the hole on, and I tacked the mount itself onto this bar. So we can lift the bed, and then it's gonna have the base plate with the hole in it, but no hole in the frame. So then we can drill that hole in the frame, and then we can get that all to work. Yes, that's how it worked. Nearly freaked myself out, but I didn't, that's okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna be low, and we'll need shimming, but that's good. I'd rather be able to shim it to go up than the mount to be too tall. So let's get her out. building so high. What do we think?
It's exciting to see it. It's a truck. I can't wait till we make everything look like the back panels.
Didn't know how the rear wheels were going to look in the wheel arches.
How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's low, but I give up.
Just on this one. Well, the thing is, you may be the only person that can fit in it to drive it, so you may be having it anyway. Bed's over. Bed's over that way. Bed's wildly over that way. So come into this A-pillar. See the bed? No. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then come to this one.
I mean, I can't tell. You have, wow. Wildly off. I mean, that may be true, but I'm not savvy enough to know. Come closer. Come tell me, like, what you think it is.
I mean, I don't know how straight this bed was to start with. It's kicked out right there. I know that was. Kicked out there. It's the bedside. The bedside's off. I have to cut the bedside and bring the bedside in.
Oh, you know what? From back here, I can see what you're talking about because that wheel is over more to the left, than that one. That one's more inside.
That is bizarre. It's weird because the rear panel fits. This fits. So I just wonder if it was bent when I got the truck because I never looked.
Probably. I mean, it had...
Well, I'm going to hold the tailgate up then. Because the tailgate should be too narrow.
Right. Yep. That'll tell you a lot.
Oh, Jesus. This may not be the best. YouTube video with That's it. You're in it.
You're in it now.
On the other line now. Hey!
See, width-wise, that's fine. Right? Got there.
Uh-huh. Yep. She says like she knows. Could it just bow out and then come back? But it doesn't really look like it, does it?
You can see the kink.
Arse.
That was disappointing.
What was disappointing about that?
No, the bed.
Oh, gotcha.
Just the bed. weird that I don't understand how the tailgate fits. It's definitely kicked out, 100% kicked out. Okay, and on that note, I guess I'll see you next time with a solution. Happy days.